Hi, I'm Amitai. I'm on my coding tour. This is the last day. This is the last stop. I'm in Munich with CodeCentric, as seen behind you and next to me. We just finished a week, 3 days in Nuremberg and 2 days in Munich, and we're just going to reflect for a few minutes on what it was like for us and anything that stood out or was interesting. So I'll give one first. We just had a session with Lizzie Hocke, who is a tester, also based in Munich, and she is on a testing tour, and I have been on a coding tour, and I was wishing for the whole summer that somehow we would get to cross paths, and we just did, ending about half an hour ago. She led an exploratory session testing, some internal product here, and boy, was that interesting. I don't know much of anything about testing outside of the developer context. And that was what really impressed me about the challenge for that one is as a developer, I'm very good at testing the unit and the class and maybe the feature that's in front of me. But the problem we had to solve in that mob was given this entire product that we don't know and exploratory testing that we don't know how to do and defining a charter that we've never done one before. Given all the available options, what should we do? And I found this to be very challenging, and I can see how it becomes an art of its own. So that was awesome for me to get to have her come here and to cross the paths. That was one highlight for me. So, Torsten, how about you? What's something from this week?
Yeah, I really liked the pair programming we did yesterday on the Mars rover in Scala using property-based testing, so Scala check, and well, or using the results, the found properties, to driving our implementation and finding better abstractions and pushing the meat of the application uh, down to these new abstractions. And at the beginning, this was so we first made it functional, yeah, that's driven, but the most of the logic was in a well, really large pattern matching case statement, and then we were able to push this into smaller components, and it was way more understandable, at least for me.
It came together so quickly at the end.
Yeah.
Like we didn't realize how close we were until we realized I don't think I have any more ideas. I think this is great.
Yeah. In the end, we were just executing commands at the top level side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also that was also a fun experiment for me that you joined me on, which was Twitch, which is a way to live stream. I guess gamers use it a lot,
Yeah.
but maybe some programmers do too. I had heard about it, and I had done it once with someone else hosting, and I thought let's try that. If it's easy to set that up, let's try that. So we did. We were live streaming Scala, Mars rover, property-based testing, and so that was three things that were new to me at the same time: Scala, property-based testing, and Twitch. And so it's nice that it went well. Yeah. So very nice. And Martin, what about you?
Yeah, for me, I have actually two noteworthy things that I took. The first one, probably the smaller one, was that you helped me setting up FreeBSD on one of my older notebooks, and I'm myself pretty familiar with Linux and different derivatives of that, but that was actually the first time and first experience setting up a BSD, and it was probably the easiest and most streamlined installer I've seen so far. It might have ruined me.
Yeah.
And another really great experience was our mobbing on the project, where we transformed the legacy data structure from the old API endpoint to the new one.
Yeah.
And I thought about
I
that
joined as
when you
well.
mentioned we didn't even realize that we were almost finished. We were just in our flow of writing the tests and checking whether or not we have validated one thing after the other, and in the end it was just like, well, okay, but now, no, that should be it. We're done. It's pretty great.
A highlight for me also from that session, I guess it was Wednesday afternoon in Nuremberg, was Torsten, you came in with some notes and just immediately started putting them on the whiteboard, which is exactly what I would have suggested had I needed to, but I didn't need to. And so, like, as a facilitator for a mob, it comes up very often for me that it's just a really basic, important tool to make sure that we do one thing at a time, that we have a place to write things that we're not doing right now, but it was already happening, so that was a lot of fun for me.
I thought that was a good idea as well. So
and I actually used the notes with the leftovers the other day when I continued to finishing it up and refactoring it before I could open the PR for that.
Nice.
I got it merged now, by the way.
All right.
And it seems to be working.
Yes, I tried it as well. So,
Seems like it should. We did a careful job.
Of course.
Yeah. I'm sure that I'm forgetting some things that we did this week.
Yeah, I really enjoyed just talking to you. Yeah, just chatting about a lot of stuff. About coaching issues, about my story slicing workshop.
Which I would love a copy of those slides.
Yes.
That looks great. Look really excellent.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, just you being there as an outside person, giving in your input without being, I don't know, probably prejudiced with the whole history of several parts of the code or the organizational things that are that have to be dealt with was pretty valuable for me as well.
I mean, I come with just my different prejudices, but maybe that's useful.
Fresh sort of prejudices.
And I can say for me, just an overall highlight for the week, just like every other stop, every other previous coding tour stop has been different from the one before it in some important way, and it keeps getting harder and harder for each stop to get different from the previous one. But this one was very different from the previous ones. We didn't do learning hours at all, and I didn't miss it. I thought I was going to, but I didn't. We spent some time on katas by proportion, much more than I had other places, although we also did production code. And in general, I think the number, so in my first stop, which was in Erlangen, not so far from where we started the week, I was exposed to a wide variety of technologies, and so I started keeping a list. But I think that the variety this week may even have been bigger than that one. I remember in particular, I think it was Monday or Tuesday, I wrote down some notes.
Yes.
And it was just a long list of things I had not seen before. And so I feel like it's hard to say, but this may be the stop that I learned the most as a programmer. Scala for sure.
But I think just doing it in this setting, pair or mob programming, it's because you're not under such pressure and the others help you there, it's fairly easy to learn something, right?
Yeah, I felt very comfortable the entire time, and I look back at the week and there's so much more that I'm able to understand and do with Scala and property-based testing. Like I never touched those before. And now I feel like if I was in a project, I would only be somewhat lost. So that's just a really sort of low pressure, low intensity, high yield. The result is very nice for me.
Yeah, that's something that I really value on these mob sessions as well. At first, if you think about it, you may think it's very high pressure, but in the end you realize that even if you don't even are fluent in the language that is used, you could give very high valued input just with asking questions. And in the end, it's all about solving these questions in a way together then, and you do a few iterations and it comes together and everybody's learned something.
Yeah, and this is what I liked about the session that we just had with Lizzie, because he did a great job, she did a great job facilitating that, I think, without restricting us too much. So I think we went in one or another direction where we not didn't realize that we were a bit stuck. But in the end, I think we learned a lot about this application, of course, but also about the approach and how to how to provide information about something that we don't know so much before.
Yeah, yeah. I really like that about mobbing in general, both in the testing context and in the programming context, that you don't have to know everything to start contributing something. And so it's just an easy on-ramp to try to be constructive and to pick up context from other people as you go. So is it something you had done a little before the mobbing? It seemed like yes.
Well, we didn't. Yes, I think we do. I wouldn't say regularly, but
sometimes.
Yes, but I think we are not very strict about that. Yes.
Yeah, I think we tried that once, being a bit more strict on pairing, and we actually thought, hey, this is pretty good, having a designated driver and the navigator, and then we kind of dropped it again because we all like to discuss and.
Yeah, that's true. You have the danger there is that the driver is driving too long, and just as driving a car, he's getting tired, and and does the navigation herself, and doesn't listen to the other, let them talk. Yes, and I think you really should have an eye on the watch there.
Yeah. Many thanks for the applications you showed me there. I will definitely use that.
The timer?
Yeah, the timer.
Make sure to leave the sound on.
Yeah.
And when it keeps going off, listen to it. That's the only recommendation. Okay.
Yes.
It's so easy to turn the sound off and forget that we did, and then it's half an hour goes by. Yeah. Cool. I'm sure that I'm leaving some highlights out. I'll make sure to put them in the blog post. And this was a wonderful visit for me. Thank you very much. This is Amitai signing off not only from CodeCentric for the week, but for the coding tour as a whole. This is it. So thanks for following along, and see you around.